Alright, BM. It's time to cook. What's up, guys? I'm here, and here we are to do a breakdown / live reaction and review to chapter 255 of Blue Lava, which is known as Still Burning. And I'm very intrigued. This week has been extremely busy. So, I kept pushing this chapter back and back and back. And people have been telling me in the comments. And my homie told me this chapter was some guy, some little nice, some little light. But I didn't get the vibes from the comments or from my homie that this was like a gold chapter. So I'm intrigued. To see why this chapter was supposedly some gas. We have a whole chunk to talk about. So let's not waste any more time and let's hop right into it. Editing me. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. What's up, guys? That guy with a... Where are you? Do not hide from me. You will be a part of me. I'm sorry, I had to bring out the imperfect cell. Pencil here. Fun fact, I do happen to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. And then fun fact, you know what time it is. It's peak lock, meaning peak every week. You know I got a pre-draw on. I'm trying to see, especially the way y'all gas this chapter up. It better be some gas. But come on now, it's PXG versus BM. Like I said before, if there's a... Let me just say it verbatim in clear English. If there is a single, and I mean a singular bad, like verbatim bad, like not worthy chapter in this arc, there will be that guy with the kitchen. That guy with the spatula. That guy with some eggs, some sausage, some bacon, some pancakes. I'll make something. I'll make a whole meal. I will make an entire cooking channel if there's a single bad chapter of this match. But considering, especially in retrospect, now that it's over, looking back, I don't think there's a single bad chapter of Ubers. I highly doubt there's going to be a bad chapter of this match in particular. So let's taste, see? Now I'm hungry, I got food on the mind, it's bad. But let's take a look in a book, Reading Rainbow. Alright, so we got Isagi, Hiori, and Kunigami. Still quite an interesting trio. I'm not sure. One thing I'm very interested to see as this game goes on, Kyora, Corona, Yukimaya. Like I feel like other characters outside of these three do need more. But I get why this is our main three. Notably, because you are going to include Kaiser. And this Kaiser, simultaneously while being definitively one of the main characters for the arc, is still an accent piece to the Blue Lock side of things. He plays much more an auxiliary role, an auxiliary main character, rather than like a general proper main character. But especially considering how heavy the arc started with someone like Yukimaya. It's crazy that he's not on the field and not in this sort of like new Egoist trio. And why not make another Egoist 4 a little bit? Another E4, you know what I'm talking about? Corona, I can somewhat understand. But considering one of the things I was looking forward to the most by the time we got to BM versus PXG was the Corona, Isagi, Hiori trio. The long-range passes, the short-range passage, and the facilitator. I was really looking forward to that. So I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little bit disappointed my big shark boy, no lava girl. Well, my little shark boy, no lava girl isn't on the field either. And once again, Kyora is on the field, but he's low-key been... he's low-key been reduced to like a Mensa kind of role. He's just there to be passed with a unique design. Which is fine, but the way they were gassing bro up, the way he's been drizzled here and throughout the series, I'm very interested to see if he's allowed to cook this match. And the thing is, if he is allowed to cook, he has to cook hard. Unless we literally burnt all this, well, not burnt a lot of time, burnt a hefty chunk of time on Corona, and he just doesn't do anything. And then he was basically not a waste of a character, but remember, only 23 people are really making it. Only 23 people are really making it out this league right here. And I don't know, unless Kyora puts in a generational performance, I don't think he's making it. At least with how he's been playing right now. So hopefully something with his burn has Kyora cooking. I don't know. Don't get me wrong though, I still like this trio. I even like every single person in this trio more than I like Yukimaya. And Corona. I love Corona, but logistically, Corona isn't... It sounds so bad when I say this. He isn't much of a character. He's more a cool design with a neat ability, a high speed stat. But see, that's kind of a complete character. Neat design, cool ability, high speed stat, nice facilitator for Isagi. I still like him though. but not as much as I like anyone in this trio. So this is still fine. I'd rather have the trio than not, but it just comes to mind considering we're so heavily focused on this trio when this arc has been about more than just these characters. Like characters who had much heavier weight not 2 games ago are just sitting on the bench. It's unfortunate. Remember, without Corona, Isagi would have never gotten his first goal in the Neo Egotist League. It was Corona who facilitated that. Of course, Corona definitely fell to the backside on the other half of that brace, but like, still, why you gotta do my boy like that? I need Corona. Gosh darn it. But once again, I'm assuming the reason we're not seeing at least Corona whip it up in the kitchen a little bit, at least not yet, is one, because what Noah said, there's the whole substitution system, so we're probably going to see some Yukimai, we're probably going to see some Corona, maybe even Kyor will get subbed out, who knows. But at the same time, you can't do too much with it, especially considering this is Kunigami and Isagi's game. Like, admittedly, Hiori feels like he's been redirected away from the character who I thought he'd be interacting with more. I thought he was going to have many more dynamic interactions with Karasu, but at the same time, I like the Hiori and Charles dynamic. That's neat. They play literally the same role. They have literally the same abilities. The only thing is different between the two is their mentality and their builds. So, Hiori and Charles, really interesting matchup. Kunigami and Shido, of course, we've been waiting for this matchup for years. And obviously, we got Isagi versus Rin, we got Isagi versus Kaiser. Like, it's still gas, but it's coming to mind. But let's see. The palms in the air. Okay, Ness, use the magic ankles, my boy, use the magic ankles. He's someone else I'm interested to see as this match progresses. Because we did spend a whole 2 chapters. Oh, I think it was 2 chapters. It was 2 chapters because we had the cliffhanger with Kaiser, then we had the next chapter. So we did spend a whole 2 chapters on this and his backstory. We got backstory Kaiser for Ness, but we haven't gotten it for Kaiser yet. So Kaiser, I'm assuming he's going to cook a bit here, but the main person of that duo, shockingly enough, as much as I love Kaiser, he's literally my favorite rival for Isagi so far. I know all the Rin fans are going to be like, how dare you? And I know all the Baro fans are going to be like, how dare you? I know every Nagi, well, how many Nagi fans are left? A lot of them. All the Nagi fans are going to be like, how dare you? But like, Kaiser's just him. But at the same time, I really want to see Ness cook. So Ness, cook a little bit. Let's see what Alexis Ness in between Zantetsu and Tokimitsu. My brain kept, like, the letter A kept blaring in my head. His first name, I forget his first name, but maybe it starts with A. For some reason, Tokimitsu's last name was just refusing to come to my mind. But let's see. Now, ooh, look at that. The trap to the immediate pass with the right leg, buttery. And notably, it looks like he actually ended up faking them out. Well, maybe this is like a reverse angle, but like it looks like he looks left, or no. The way his head swivels and the way his eyes look, it looks like he looks right, even though he ends up sweeping it left. So he ended up probably baiting Tokimitsu and Zantetsu to look one way. Yep, you can even see where Tokimitsu's eyes are lined up and where Zantetsu seems to be facing. He literally bait and switched them with the head movement. I like that. But who's it going to? Is it going to Grimm or Kaiser? Grimm. Another character who... Man, I hope he gets subbed out. Like, don't get me wrong, Grimm's not, like, the worst character out there. But, like, for some reason, it's like they're pretending that Kaiser, Ness, and Grimm are a trio. When it really is just a Kai-Ness duo. Like, get him out of here. Like, if I had to trade him for any Blue Lock character, I would. Grimm's never getting a backstory. Grimm's never going to be that relevant. But Yuki Maya, he got a backstory. Corona, probably will never get a backstory. Like, I love Corona, but I highly doubt he will. But, like, Corona... Heck, even like Kiora cook, but if Kiora's on the field right now, so he'll cook a little bit. But I'll give credit to a character who's destined to never cook or never actually be too deep of a character. Look at Graham. He's hitting that immediate clean slight. Ooh, Kaiser versus Karasu. Now that's a matchup. That's not supposed to. I don't know who this is supposed to be, but that's a matchup right there. Kaiser versus Karasu. I think Kaiser has the better build and the better stats overall, but Karasu's got that mastermind. So does Kaiser. This is the thing. I feel like Kaiser due to, I think Kaiser's reputation took a massive hit during Ubers because he just has that goal. Don't get me wrong, that's still probably my favorite goal in the entire series, which I know sounds crazy considering how many different goals there are and the different calibers and level of importance other goals have, especially in comparison to that goal, whether it be the end of first selection goal, whether it be the U20 goal. Like, there are a bunch of goals that technically have more narrative weight and significance, but simply in terms of like the art of goal scoring, there has yet to be a goal more metal. And I know, Nagi fans, the 5-shot revolver, but there's never been a goal more metal than being fouled, flipping off somebody's back, and nutmegging the best defender? No! The best defender in Japan's legs. And scoring. With that Kaiser impact. I'm sorry, that's still my favorite goal. But since Lorenzo had bro on clamps the entire match in Ubers, and so far he hasn't really been allowed to cook because of Rin, I feel like Kaiser stocks have kind of been dropping in the general community consensus. A lot of people are looking at him a bit funny. I don't think he's on fraud watch. I haven't seen any Kaiser fraud allegations yet. Ness has been getting them allegations since round start, but Kaiser seems to be avoiding the allegations. But at the same time, the fact that I'm even questioning Kaiser versus Karasu, they're both good soccer players. They're both geniuses. They both have their own ways of seeing the world. But this should be an easy Kaiser dub, right? Right, that's what my brain should be thinking. But I think that doubt has even gotten to me. The fact that I'm questioning it at all. So let's see. Karasu versus Kaiser. K-on-K action. Oh! Ooh. Okay. I'll take that. That's a way to do it. That's the way to do it. Look at Kaiser's dominance over Karasu. Karasu really ain't. Karasu's like, I am not built for this. What is happening? Like, look at that face. He knows. He's like, I never signed up for this. I don't know what kind of next level dastardly demonic timing you creatures are on. This was not me. But like, look at that. Kaiser, he's locked in, but due to that, Karasu doesn't even have like a leg in. If that ball had reached, Kaiser was moving with that. And I like that. There we go. We're keeping Kaiser's hype up. Because that's the thing, right? I mentioned this before and I'll mention it again. Isagi's not a better player than Kaiser. He's not. He has not surpassed them. He has started to reach towards them. I'd say he has the better vision. But in literally every other metric, Kaiser's the better player. But, well, I guess vision and playmaking, they build into each other. So, like, outside of those two things, whether it be scoring, well, I mean, I guess Isagi has really good defensive feats, too. Meanwhile, Kaiser, he has some. So, there's three. It's defense, it's vision, and it's playmaking that you could arguably give Isagi superior to. But in terms of strength, speed, height, build, shot power, shot diversity, shot rank, like, everything else goes to Kaiser. And thusly, with him already being introduced this early and being said to have the fastest shot in the world, I do still sort of smell Kaiser being a more late game antagonist. Like, I would not be shocked if he was one of the bigger obstacles to actually winning the U20. Because remember, Kaiser's still a U20 player. That's why he's one of the new General 11. He's not top. He hasn't left the age bracket that Isagi's in, essentially. So I see all this build-up for Kaiser and how he's treated as a character being important, because I think it's going to haunt us later. Of course, our characters are going to continue to get stronger as the narrative progresses, and Kaiser's going to be naturally forced to keep up with that if he's going to be a late-game antagonist. But just based on how he's being written right now, from how he interacts with other characters, to the relative dominance he displays over other characters, and the fact that he's already kind of snagged a high-level position with his shot speed, I see a vision. I see a vision of Kaiser cooking in the future. So I do think this is important to do. It's important to let other characters be cool, let them be strong, let them have their ones with Kaiser, but let Kaiser actually show off. Once again, he was on clamps for all of Ubers. The one time, I'm going to pause to take a sip. Tasty. But the one time he was let off clamps, he scored, and Lorenzo realized, I cannot take you off clamps. But Lorenzo's another new General 11 player. So, like, that's fine. But I think moments like this are important, showing that Kaiser's still really, really dominant, really, really like that. The fact that even someone as good, remember, Karasu's whole thing is ball handling, that defense, the manipulation of the court, the field, the pitch. To see him lose to Kaiser, it's subtle. It's quick and very quickly gets overridden by, like, the two real main characters of this match, unfortunately. But, not unfortunately, I like Kunigami and Shido. But it goes to show the control. However, one thing I do like is how Kaiser wasn't expecting them. You can... Actually, it's kind of funny to look at. Because, like, you could clearly see Kunigami... the thing. Funny enough, I am horrible. Like, well, at least my body tends to be horrible. Like, if I yawn too much, I'll get, like, a cramp in my jaw. So, like, maybe then veins pop out. But do you know how hard you have to be legitimately tweaking for your jawline to start producing veins? Veins of that size, too. I'm not sure. Once again, your boy's not a doctor or biologist, anything like that. So I do not know the inner workings of the human body at all. But, like, the veinage to be popping out. I know those teeth are being gritted right here, right now. They're being torn apart. There's no doubt about it. That man is off one. And so is Shido. Look at the desperation. Look at the insanity. The madness behind, bro. Look at that. Like, I'm trying to think of a time where I was that angry or that locked in. The only time I can think of being that locked in, that hypothetical veins were bulging out of every part of my body, was like 200-meter dash. I see, bro, he's 20 meters out. I can tell by his running speed, like all the calculations, like it's like metavision's happening to me, and like based on the data that I've inputted so far for his first 20 meters, based on the data I've also accrued myself, if I activate my unlimited potential, I'll be able to catch him up and pass him, and then be able to pass the baton on to my next. Like, that's the only time where I could see like veins genuinely popping out my beans, popping out my body like that. And both of them are tweaking from the forehead to the cheek, from the side of the head to the jaw. Like, they are off one. And I love how Kaiser looks genuinely concerned. He's like, what is wrong with you? Bro looks actively concerned. He's like, you two are insane. Get away from me. But also, I like that because remember, Shido is, he's not necessarily anti-metavision in the same way that Baro is somewhat anti-metavision, but I'd say they both fill similar roles, where if there are holes in a metavision user, Kunigami, Shido, Baro, they're built to exploit that by their mostly unpredictable playstyles, plus their ranges, plus their finishing ability. Like, all that is what allows them to be a bit more unpredictable, because metavision is a data-reliant thing. It depends on how much you know of your opponent, and that's why it continuously gets better during a match. Like, you can do as much pre-research as you want, but if your opponent pulls out new specs or evolves live on the spot, you need to be able to input that new data and start working it up. And since Shido plays so unconventionally and Kunigami's meant to be on his tail, locking him down, of course they'd appear at Kaiser's blind spot, genuinely tweaking, and of course Kaiser would be like, what's wrong with you? I do love how insulted he looks, though. But with that being the case, Kunigami versus Shido. Realistically, with their current specs, Kunigami should win, right? Like, he's just way bulkier, and he has really good speed. Like, he doesn't have, like, Chikiri type speed, obviously. Like, we literally saw that matchup. But in terms of real genuine gains, Shido, he's lean, he's slim and lean with it. He's got that good musculature. I'm not saying Shido's weak or anything like that, but like, if Kunigami's man marking him, and as long as he can react to that ball in time, Shido's never touching it. But let's see, because Shido does have a slight lead here, though Kunigami does have his arm in front. Let's take a look. Revenge matchup. Revenge death ball. Sorry, the baby. Super Baby 2 came out to me for a second there. But let's see. Golly, look at that. Look at that. Ooh. That's yo, that's next level. So those two straight, because no, they were level with Kaiser before. So those two straight leaped into the air to try and intercept the ball. Shido actually did. He actually managed. That's a crit in midair. To do that, I don't know. Maybe, once again, your boy's not a football player / soccer player. I don't know how crazy this is. But at least, from an outsider's perspective looking in, the ability to lift your... I don't think Shido... Is he left-footed? Or I think he's right-footed. I don't think Shido's left-footed. The ability to lift your non-dominant leg over another full-grown, beefy 6'1" man and attempt to trap the ball in the first place is crazy. Shido does that, but then Kunigami uses the fact that his leg was lifted over to knock the ball away. How? Kunigami, we're in this beats earlier, bro. Why were you not breathing down Baro's? I get why. Once again, you gotta have Baro cooked. But also, golly, Raichi. Take notes, bucko. Take notes. Golly. Shido, you remember him now? Shido, you gotta remember him now, bro. Revenge matchup, bro. You gotta remember him now. You gots to. But maybe not. Shido, he's... I hate to say it. Shido reminds me of me. I am horrifically forgetful. Like, it is an act of crime when I be forgetting sometimes. I will legit forget that I have my phone in my hand, and then I will start looking for my phone. I will turn the I've done this once. It really hasn't happened to me. I've done this once where I've turned the flashlight on my phone on to go and look for my phone. Your boy's not the sharpest spoon in no kitchen shed. But with that being the case, this would spark memories. Like, notably, I have not run track in years. But I know if I were to run into one of my rivals from back in the day, even if they looked a little bit different, if we were to hit the spikes right now, I know exactly who they were. I remember Shido only disqualified Kunigami not too long ago, but at the same time, it was such a short match, probably. So maybe that's why Shido's struggling to remember it, because he's crushed so many people on the way here. What makes Kunigami any different? But regardless, this kind of bullshit is crazy. And I also like the contrast between the two character designs. From their hair down to their motions, down to their builds. Like, everything about these two characters stands in direct opposition to each other, which is really, really nice. Kaiser, once again, being absolutely bamboozled. He's like, you idiots, the ball. Well, let's see. Darn, Karasu. You can't even get a face shot in right now, bro. He covered you up. Oh, Raichi, I was talking about taking notes. Were you, bucko? What is this? Okay, the ball goes over Darn, it went all the way back over to Ness. Raichi traps with his chest. All right. I'm not saying that word, chance. Why do I always forget Raichi's voice? He's appeared so often that I should not be consistently forgetting Raichi's voice. I think I give him the Bakugo voice, right? I think so. But I try to add more gravel to it because of the sharp teeth. All right, this is my... How do you say that word backwards? Exis chance. I'm sorry. I'm gonna write down the voices. I'm gonna write down the voices in a note so I can remember. I remember I have everyone else in Blue Lock, I swear. And notably, their voices typically just come. Especially when I do like my on-the-fly voice acting for like chapter reviews, whenever I'm imitating a character. They typically are like stored in here. But I don't know, Raichi, he's just always so mysterious. Let's see. Nah, B. He even let the ball touch the ground before he took it from... That's... Me personally, Raichi. Me personally, I could not let my opportunity get stolen live on air, on live TV, in front of numerous, if not thousands, if not millions of people, by a 15-year-old. Raichi, me personally, put me on the pitch right now, and I wouldn't let that happen to me. Me personally, bro. But let's see. Really? Really? EXE? You're just a brawny meat shield meant for shoving matches, alright? What? That's way too old. Hold on. I must enter my higher register. But not Mickey Mouse higher. Gosh darn it, there's like two voices in there. Really? You're just a brawny meat shield meant for shoving matches, right? Sweaty duel, bro. Raichi! I know you can understand him, bro. He may not be mic'd. They may not be able to broadcast that to the entire planet, bro. But, like, I'd have to fight like they could. I'd have to fight like dog, Raichi. But then again, that goes to show the levels to it. Because Charles is cracked. Like, I don't know. I joked about him being better than Nico off rip, but he is. Nico was not doing all this. I love Nico. He was not doing all this. Because, like, 1, Charles came pre-packaged with metavision. 2, his passes are crazy. 3, his facilitation is crazy. 4, his defense is crazy. And 5, this level of metavision is cracked. Like, remember, I guess because he's basically tracking Shido now. And notably, both of their unorthodox styles match up. So maybe Charles's brand of metavision allows him to better read scenarios like this. But this shouldn't have happened. Like the scenario where Raichi gets the ball should not have been in anyone's cards. Look how not a single metavision user picked up. Look, I even see Hiori being bamboozled right here, right now. No one predicted it. But this metavision user right here did. Charles is crap. I don't know. Like, especially for a character who I had mixed opinions on, because, you know, he's a contrarian. That aside, he's really cooking. Like, another character who I'm interested to see later on. Like, once we get further into U20. Because he's definitely viable for U20. He's 15. So we're going to see him again. Where someone like Kaiser may be disqualified depending on when his birthday is. Because I think he's 19. Have we ever gotten Kaiser's actual confirmed age? Maybe he's 18. But, like, we're going to see Charles again. And after he loses this match, if he loses. Once again, maybe not. Maybe not. I'm in the camp that BM has us in the bag. No matter how crazy PXG makes us look. But who knows? Maybe not. I'm interested to see him cook and develop even more. But let's see. I'm gonna rip your throat out. Darn, this is bad. Hiori, I say this is much more than bad. Like, this is awful. But then again, I don't know. Kunigami seemingly has Shido on lock. But at the same time, I guess Charles could kind of feed anybody. Like, that, and he's kind of been feeding anybody. That was the whole point of Charles. He's like, feed who I want to feed. So, like, yeah, that's dangerous. Especially considering PXG is kind of built like the U20 Japan team is, where if they have the ball, there is like a 50-50 shot of getting a goal. Like, you got Zantetsu, Karasu, Tokimitsu, Rin, obviously. Like, you have 4 separate people who could receive a pass from Charles right now, instead of Kunigami locking down Shido right now. That could all get a goal right now. So, like, this is a very dangerous situation. I can see why Hiori's tweaking a little bit, but let's see. Just now, if I backed up Raichi-kun, then we could have kept the ball. Oh, then he could have? Or then, I'm assuming that's a typo. That's supposed to be, then we could have kept the ball. But yeah, that's the thing. Charles is able to see what cannot be seen by other metavision users. Because he's so contrarian. Which I guess works out, right? Like, you kind of get the best of both worlds. You get the yes, I grew up on Hannah Montana, don't get mad at me. But with that being the case, since he's able to see the vision, right? The metavision. He's also able to see what would be opposite to that. So, what the traditional metavision play there probably was, Kaiser gets the ball, chase Kaiser down. But, with the knowledge and accounting for the wild cards in Kunigami and Shido, Charles likely read the scenario like, okay, best case scenario, or traditional case scenario, Kaiser gets ball. But, considering that muscle-bound freak is all over my demonic homie, it's very likely the ball is going to be in freestyle. And who's their best man for retaining freestyle points? Oh, Raichi, let me be right there. Hiori was probably too focused on the real vision, while Charles was focused on seeing the opposite. That's why he beat him there. And I like that. I like that for real, for real. The motion is immaculate. But let's see. If I can't outwit him over small things like this, I'll never be able to catch up with Charles's imagination while he's looking for new chances. That's true. Especially, that's the thing, in those small situations, those pinpoint moments. Of course, butterfly effect. Even the smallest of impacts can have massive ramifications on the rest of the world. Like, you don't need to play Life is Strange to know that. Just the butterfly effect in general works that way. But, yeah, if Hiori can't stop him here, how's he really meant to stop him in general? On these little interceptions, especially when they can lead to such big effects. But let's see. But it's hard. It felt impossible from the get-go. He slaughters on sight. Fighting this guy means... What is that? What is that? Is that an Elden Ring boss? In my blue lock? What is this? Falling over and over until you can find an effective method. He's like a boss in a super hard video game. What is it? I swear, it's because they won't show up as often. Maybe, because this is Hiori's interpretation. What I was about to say is, why do these one-off, one-hit, wonder-beat characters get some of the coldest, cleanest, fiery, and most buttery auras out there? Lorenzo, His aura was looking clean. The zombie, buttery. We're never gonna see him again. If we do see him again, it'll be very quick. We're never seeing that ego again. Charles, we're probably gonna see him again. Once again, I think if there's gonna be a trio of characters who were introduced in the EGOIST League that we are going to see again, if there's a solid trio, I guess quad, because we're going to have to throw Ness in that too. It's going to be Ness. Once again, we build a whole backstory around the man. He's essentially tied to our next character. Kaiser, who is a U20 player, will play for Germany, will end up probably being a top op for Isagi, even in the long run. I think he is a later game antagonist for Isagi to truly surpass. And then 3, Loki. Once again, he plays professionally. He plays in the professional leagues, but I wouldn't be shocked if he, once again, qualifies for U20. He is a U20 player. So I wouldn't be shocked if he shows up there, and naturally Charles with Loki. So, like, this is a squad we're likely going to see again, but this is so fun. Once again, it's very easy to see that Nomura has like a boundless bag. Like as a artist, notably there are other mangaka who I just know for a fact like produce anything if they really felt like it, like Kei Horikoshi. The things I've seen that man draw on a week-by-week basis. I know if he felt like it, he could recreate the Mona Lisa 15 times better. If he really felt like it, with a pen and paper. But Nomura, it's so subtle. Because of course you have those big explosive moments. But considering how much more, and I say this in heavy quotation marks because of Blue Lock, grounded Blue Lock is, these explosive moments where we get these extracurricular, insane, next-level designs, they always just stand out so much harder. And this is just the hard... If this isn't in the thumbnail, this chapter is crazy. But let's see. But this game sure is interesting. I'll beat Charles and clear this for sure. That's my boy. Hiori just like me. He's just Mantis Lords, bro. It's just Mantis Lords. You just gotta keep playing. I mean, I'm proud. I'm proud of Robin for immediately beating the game. And I think he like 100%ed it too. I'm still stuck on like, I need to beat Nightmare King Grim. I need to beat I know where the Final Dreamer is. Oh, I know where the Final Dreamer is. They are not safe for me. They're like, well, actually no, that's Watcher Knights. I've heard horrific things about Watcher Knights, but I have every single charm in the game. I have fully maxed out. I got Salubra's Blessing. I got all that. I'm pretty sure I've purchased everything that's relevant in the game. I've completed everything. I got Void Heart. I'm ready. I just need to get ready for them final bosses. But Hiori, just like me, for real, locked in on Mantis Lords. We just gotta, you lose, you come back, you try again and again. And if you're wondering, no. The only Dark Souls, the only Souls like I've played to completion, and I didn't even do it alone, was Neo 2. And me and my bro still, well, actually, I never even beat that game. Because the final boss, or at least what I think is supposed to be the final boss, ended up being one player. For some reason. I don't know why. I may need to check if that ever got patched. But like me and my boy, we literally played through all of Neo 2 together. We struggled on the first boss, the second boss, the third. There's the one, I think it's like the third boss in the game, which is like some weird gigantic snake with a poison pit. That was awful. We kept dying on that over and over and over again. And we got to the final boss. It's like there's a one-wing Sephiroth built dude. And I walked in, I looked for my bro, and it's like, dude, where are you? And I was like, I don't know, where are you? We're literally late at night, headphones on, trying to play, and we just couldn't. Of course, we were struggling together. What were we supposed to do alone? So I'm hoping that got patched so one day I can beat Neo 2. Because then I haven't beat that. I haven't beat Hollow Knight yet. So technically I've never even beaten a Souls-like before. So, Hiori, I hope you have, bucko. Because it's going to look tragic if you haven't. But let's see. Oh, I love how Charles even looks back at him. He's like, you know you have to try to beat me. But you ain't going to beat me for real. But Hiori is one of the major characters for BM. So he's probably going to beat Charles. Though I'm interested to see how he does it though. I'm assuming Hiori's metavision and playstyle is going to have to evolve even further to account for the unpredictable. Like, not in the way that Isagi accounts for, like, protagonism or individuality or stuff like that. But, like, literally Hiori's going to have to, like, flip the way he sees the field on his head in order to see what Charles sees. And then he's going to adapt that into his own playstyle and his own facilitations. So that's going to be an interesting long-term journey. Hiori? Get in the kitchen and get that Aristo whipping. But let's see. And clear this for sure. Now look at this trio right here. Once again, shockingly enough, Rin isn't confirmed to be a metavision user. At least not yet. He's just had the Destroyer ego. Though he's one of the main things that Isagi leaves to when it comes to comparison for metavision type users or metavision type players. So I'm interested. Rin. You got it on you, right? Younger Itoshi, but you got it on you. We just haven't seen your eyes yet. Rin, you gotta have it. Right? Let's see. Okay, Charles, Isagi, and Rin. Over here, contrarian. And he's not gonna listen. Rin Itoshi. That running pattern is so... You're losing me. I'm losing my good... It's too consistent now. Before it was a surprise. You're losing me on the emoji speak. You're losing me on it. Slowly but surely, you're losing me. You're losing me, and I'm losing my sanity, bro. I'm about to go buku bonkers. I'm about to lose my good mind. You need to cease this. Cease and desist. Cease and desist at once. You can't keep doing this to me, Nomura. You can't keep... Not Nomura. I know it's not Nomura who writes it. Kaneshiro-sensei. Well, maybe Nomura draws the emojis. 'Cause I've never seen these emojis before. That's the thing about the Shido and Charles emoji speak. I've never seen it before. I've never seen it. I've never seen these emojis anywhere. They're like off-brand emojis. So maybe Nomura has to design them. So I guess he can blame Nomura and Kaneshiro-sensei. Cease, bro. Like, what is that? What is the... Oh, the tongue sticking out. Okay. I get that one. But, like, dog. Cease and desist. I'm begging you, bro. But... I guess it makes them unique, and that's a good way to sync the characters up. Especially considering we have so little time with this duo, and we'll literally never see it again. Like, we are not seeing this duo again. That's the unfortunate thing about Neo Aegis League in particular. There are so many interesting combos that are born of the unique team structure that we'll just never see again. Like, we're never gonna see Agi from Manshine team up with anybody ever again. Barcha doesn't have anything. I don't know. Like, looking as the games went on, I haven't done a reread of Barcha, but the more and more I think back on Barcha, the more and more underwhelming that game is. But once again, it makes sense. This is the first game. You want to get better. You don't want to get worse or stagnate. But the unique combos that could only be done with Agi, we'll never see again. Not for our team. For everything Lorenzo facilitated, never see that again, whether it be for Baro or for anybody else. That's someone's just going to have to become a Lorenzo copy or just do something unique from him, considering Lorenzo's so specialized. And now, Charles and Shido. This is a really interesting duo that I think could benefit, and they play off each other really, really well. But it's just not... It's not in the heart of the cards, bro. Like, it's destined to die after this game, which is unfortunate. But it'd be like that when it'd be like that. Especially when it'd be like that, Mr. Chevalier. But let's see. He used Rin as bait to dribble through? But, like, what did you expect? Like, Rin. Once again, I think you're going to have to adopt the Hiori mindset, bro. You're going to have to change how you approach Charles. Like, you can't, at least with it, ooh, okay, Hiori. But, like, at least with Charles, he's not someone you can play traditionally with and expect it to work out. And, like, but then again, I can't blame Rin too much, because clearly Charles was willing to facilitate before. So something changed. Actually, I'm not even going to knock Rin for this. Because presumably, at least if the previous games are any indication and how many goals Rin scored, and the fact that it seems like it's mostly a Charles facilitation type thing, since the Nase is a recent addition to Rin's kit, in terms of, like, players that support him, I actually wouldn't be shocked if Charles did used to feed Rin as well. But now he's essentially removed Rin from the feeding table. He's kicked Rin out the table, and now Rin's confuzzled. So I can give Rin credit for that. Because, like, yeah, of course, if you are so used to things operating XYZ, and suddenly Charles goes CBA, you're like, whoa, what the heck? So, makes sense. But once again, I actually really like Charles. I'm crazy how I'm switching up with this character so drastically. But I do like how we have a metavision user that is metavisioning against other metavision users properly. Now we have, like, a healthy amount of them. Of course, realistically, it's only Charles for PXG so far. Like, Ren, once again, has yet to show it. But Charles, with his metavision, acting as an anti-metavision user against our two metavision users in Hiori and Isagi. Real good. Because it essentially opens the door. It broadens the scope of how you can counter metavision and how metavision can be used. You can use metavision to play in the most optimal and clean-cut way, something like Isagi plays, or you can use it to counterplay those clean-cut plays like Charles does, or you could just be anti-metavision, like built that way as a player, like your Shido, or your Kunigamis, or your Baros. So the metavision a drastic amp that I know a lot of people are a little bit harsher on, considering it seems so many people are getting it and its potency keeps on dropping. But I am liking how it's being implemented and how the counters are being used for. These are ways that I didn't even see metavision being countered, but it's happening and I really, really like it. But let's see. It's so boring. He used Rin as bait to dribble through? Not yet. Jeez! Hiori's 15! How old is Hiori? I think Hiori's 17. Hiori, chill out, bro. Not yet, idiot. I predicted that, contrarian coon. Okay. But is Charles about to cook, bro? No way Hiori adapted that quickly. Uh-oh, but Charles is caught off guard, baby. Maybe? Huh. That's good, Sky. Ooh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is that a new metavision design? We're switching back and forth. Once again, it's the incomplete design, but I like that. I do like that. Man, Charles, man, why am I becoming a Charles Glazer in 2024? Why? Why am I becoming a Charles Glazer? What is wrong with me? I'm just like, look, gonna be waking up in the middle of the night with a cold sweat being like, I glazed Charles. He's now in top 10 in terms of my favorite characters. But golly, that's good, Sky Blue, bro. But you're one step up. Yeah, that's the thing. There's no way Hiori adapted that easily. Though, interesting how Charles, I guess, like, feigned shock here that Hiori caught up. But let's see. An outside cross kick from that stance? No way. But who is he passing? He can't be passing to Shido. He saw what happened last time the ball went to Shido. Let's see. He's toying with us. I can't outwit him. Right now, this whole field is in the palm of Charles's hand. Isagi, no, you can't be giving up that Buddha reference. No! Yukimaya, we need you to reassert the Buddha glaze, please. Let's see. Oh, no, he is giving it to Shido. He's feeding Shido. No. That's my boy. That's my boy. Look at that. Even Shido's like, dude, hop off my meat. But Shido, don't you like men on your meat? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But, like, we're reading BL. It's called Blue Lock, but we know what it really stands for. But, like, with that being the case, okay, Kunigami. But you know what? Charles is limiting himself already. He's so focused on Shido that unless he broadens that scope, I thought he was passing to somebody else, like his Zantetsu or Karasu. But then again, Karasu is currently being walked by Kaiser. But like Tokimitsu or something like that. If he's going to stay focused on Shido, as long as Kunigami's got them clamps on, bro, he's not touching the ball. And remember how simple it was for, well, admittedly, that was a much weaker Shido. Shido's definitely been getting stronger over the Neo Aegis League. But remember how much simpler it was for Gagamaru to read Shido and react to him, for the most part, when just one person was there to kind of force Shido into a 50-50. So as long as Kunigami's able to stay on Shido's cheeks, as long as he's got the stamina and the reaction speed, which he should have with all of his training, he should be good. He should be locked in enough that Shido should never touch the ball. So I think Charles is actually going to have to evolve too. Let's see. Kunigami-kun? What? I can't reach Shido? So yeah, look at that. But I think that's Charles realizing that, oh, I may have to branch out. But then again, who else on PXG are they going to really let score? There's no way Rin's not scoring. There's no way. We may, you know what? If anything, Charles may have to switch to Rin, but not the Rin we know. He may have to switch to that Destroyer Rin. Where Rin starts moving on optimally and Charles is like, whoa, okay, now you get a little bit interested. I can see that happening. I think Charles is going to be the main facilitator. I don't really see anyone else getting an assist outside of Charles, because it seems like if I had to identify, computer, identify the 6 main characters of this game. Obviously Isagi. Obviously Kunigami. Honestly Hiori. Obviously Hiori. And then the 3 for PXG are obviously Rin, obviously Shido, obviously Charles. I love Karasu. He's clearly been pushed to the side. We addressed him and Hiori's dynamic. Cut it down. Do I like that? Not really. Do I think there's a chance that it could pop up again? Yes, absolutely. But right now, it seems like we've pushed that down for Hiori versus Charles. As much as I'm mostly indifferent to Tokimitsu, I don't think he's going to cook. I just don't think so. Nanase, I think he's a neat fella. Maybe he gets an assist for Rin. Maybe. But I, once again, don't really see it. Because 23 is just too little. I feel like we have enough players that Nanase is just not necessary. Igaguri still needs to cook a little bit too, so there's that as well. So unless we're banishing Igaguri, and I think Kaneshiro said he like really liked Igaguri, so we're probably not dishing Igaguri, bro. But that aside, I think with that trio, it's gonna be that trio that's gonna be facilitating the assists, the scoring, all that. So I'm not sure how many other characters are gonna fit in. So Rin activating Destroyer mode to finally draw Charles's eyes. That's some good stuff. I can see that's a case where I can definitely see the vision. 100 million billion% see the vision. Let's see. Nice one, Kunigami. You're amazing, sideboard. Yo, Isagi, stop tweaking out, bro. Don't call him that. He may be okay with it, but that doesn't mean you should call him that. Let's see. Ever since he started covering Shido, his performance is clearly on a higher level. Of course, this plan takes his physique into account, but beyond that, I think it's his personal feelings of revenge towards Shido. It's drawing out his peak performance. A man true to his sense of justice, an emotional creature. Rensuke Kunigami is. Okay. I guess that makes sense, right? Like, there are two things that'll bring out my peak performance in something like, let's call fighting game, but particularly fighters. There are two things that bring out my peak performance. One is when I run into somebody when I'm running casuals or ranked, and there are basically, it's mostly casuals now, because you can't have unlimited ranked matches anymore. Back in the day, though. But in casuals, when I run into somebody with my exact same skill level, where I'm like, we are literally even, we just have different characters, and we're running the matchup. We're seeing how our characters match up against each other. Like, the other day, your boy was on Fighters. I was running the main team. I was trying to get my sauce back up. You know, we got rollback now, so I'm trying to, well, very glitchy rollback. I mean, like, keep getting the sparking glitch. But, like, we got rollback now. You know what I was doing. I was running SS4 Gogeta, Android 21 Lab Coat, and Trunks. I ran into somebody, they were playing SS Blue Vegeta, they were playing Gohan, and they were playing, who was the last one? I want to say Android 21 Majin, but no, it was, I kept washing the last one though. Maybe that, well, to be fair, I didn't wash, they just had a really bad matchup with me. But who was the last one? It was Piccolo. Because I suck against Piccolo. Maybe that's why. And you know, I love Piccolo, which is crazy. I probably should learn Piccolo, considering Piccolo is very, very good. But it was my SS4, Gogeta, it was Android 21, and it was Trunks against Blue Vegeta, Ultimate Gohan, or Pseudo-Adult Gohan, and Piccolo. Dog, we ran matches for like an hour. We just kept going and going and going. It wasn't about square colors. There was no problem. We were just even. The only thing, I started to adapt to him more and more. I started to read his tells and stuff like that. I was able to tech his Dragon. Like, I started to wake up. I was adapting. So by like the last 3 or so matches, I was like, okay, let me clean you up real quick. And I started cleaning him up. And then he quit. But that is what brought like, let me lean forward in my chair type energy out of me. And the only other times when I'm playing against my homies. Because then we got something to prove. No money matches. We don't even need to run money matches. Just playing against the homie. I'll bring out your best. And of course, those are my homies. Kunigami's playing against an enemy. So I like that he's feeling that flavor, that emotion, all on live TV. See, I look like he's tweaking. I can't imagine what his family thinks. But like, that aside, let Kunigami cook. Isagi, you need to wake that up against Rin, bucko. You kind of been low-key a little bit radio silent. But let's see. What do you have to cook, Mr. Yoichi? In other words, his mentality is a self-style ego. Oh, so that's his idea. Thanks for the pass. He's the same as back then. He really does have a fiery heart. Ah, okay. See the chapter title burning. What is it? Still burning? He really does have a fiery heart. He's still alive. Kunigami's ego is still burning. Roll credits. Okay, but all right. Interesting. Kunigami locked in. That's good. And once again, it won't entirely undo the damage because it's too late now. But Kunigami definitely suffers from this only can happen in the last game syndrome, because Kunigami has been put on so many different kind of watches. The main one, fraud watch, because he's been very rough throughout the Neo Udis League. But hey, even if it's just as a defender, I'm glad he's finally getting his time to lock in, cook, show out, present, because it was looking rough, especially considering how much hype. He was our U20 closer. If you remember, it was him and Kaiser. The 2Ks, they were our U20 closer. That was our Blue Lock Phase 1 complete. He was our final panel. So, a lot of people were disappointed with Kunigami's run so far. Outside of that, those 2 goals he got, both being fed to him by Isagi, he was looking really rough. But if this is how he's going to show out, I'm happy, bro. The Kunigami fan in me is beaming. But let's see. It's still burning. Kunigami-san is suppressing... Kun. Kunigami-kun is suppressing Shido. Why? I kind of... Yeah, it makes sense. He's a lighter voice. Kunigami-kun is suppressing Shido. That decreases Charles' options. Alright. That changes the balance of the entire field. Yeah. But that's the thing, though. Ironically enough, if Charles starts branching out, then it becomes more... You're essentially... You have to stop Charles. You can't play to stop any single striker when there are so many strikers. You have to stop Charles Hiori. So I'm interested to see Hiori cook here. This is going to be an interesting matchup, and a very interesting match for Hiori, considering how much he's going to have to specifically cook in terms of reading where Charles is passing and getting there in time to stop him from passing. But let's see. You're a pain in my behind, pathetic loser, hero. He remembers. There we go. He remembers now. Okay, Shido, you remember him now, huh? It's all coming back to you, huh? You see it a bit. Okay. Oh, got about those girls a little bit. I see you. Kunigami finally woke up, got the memory bags jogging a little bit. I see it. Okay, I can see why people are wrapping up this chapter to me. I like it. Is that all you got, explosion demon? Did your tears dampen your gunpowder? Oh, this is what I'm talking about. Explosive demon parts a little bit, but mainly because I have a very specific image of Shido in my head talking about explosions. When he finally, and we know what happened when he finally exploded. But with that being the case, bro, this is what I'm talking. This is the balance, right? Sometimes we have emoji speak. Sometimes we have bars. It's like a consistent. It's like the scale keeps tipping, and typically they're always like this. There's always sandwich. There's weird, off-brand, gosh darn it, can I even show this to my family, emoji speak or weird stuff, or Shido in general, and then there are bars. So like, Blue Lock is all about balance. Let's see. Ooh, Shido tweaking out. But that's the thing, I don't think Shido can score again. Unless we're really, really built into the narrative that Isagi still needs to lose to Rin again, which I feel like just can't. I feel like we're too late into the narrative for that. I think Rin has to lose here because he's beaten Isagi every other time. What about the end of U20? That doesn't count. At least not as a definitive victory over Rin. At least not in my opinion. Every single match that Isagi's had against Rin, he's lost. Whether it be start of second selection, whether it be end of second selection, in general, he just loses. So I feel like this needs to be third time's the charm type beat where Isagi needs to clutch up. So I think Shido, despite tweaking out here and twitching, I think it's finally time. It may just be that time to put bro on clamps. We're never seeing him again. He's not cooking anymore. Once again, with this still being a 3-goal game, we just can't let him cook. Not too much. But let's see. When he's talking about Cyborg, you would have misfired too if it weren't for my assist. Huh? What's with you? If I were Kunigami, I'd just be like, can I get a red card for striking my own teammate? Man, shut up! Let's see. Help me with my explosion. Whoa. Isagi, you can't. I mean, it's the current year. Maybe you can ask another man. But we're going to, let's see. Help me with my explosion. Let's eat. Okay, I see it. Let's eat steak together again. Shoot, calling back. That's actually smart though. Isagi's trying to exploit that emotional connection. Because he sees that it's the emotional connection, even if it's purely negative, with Shido that's allowing Kunigami to pull out these next level top tier results. So Isagi's trying to invert that, use that positive connection, reawaken their bond properly to hopefully feed into Isagi's own world, his own success. But once again, I do like the whole holistic versus individualistic style, where Isagi's thinking, as guys pointed out in last week and the week before's comment section, Isagi is a holistic player. He takes into account every other person. But ultimately, what is he focused on? He said, not our explosion, my explosion. Help me, serve me, put me on that pedestal, Kunigami. You know you wanna. So I like that. I like that. And this core, despite trying to tap into a positive emotional line deep in his heart, whether he knows it or not, Isagi is a man about himself. He's an egoist after all. But let's see, Isagi and Kunigami. Look at those eyes. Look at the light in those eyes. Even Kunigami seeing the vision. If our opponents are using the ultimate X-ultimate chemical reaction, then we'll produce an ultimate X-ultimate X. See what I mean? So there's a sandwich. There's a sandwich. Whack with a bar in between. That's the meat of the sandwich. And then whack.
If our opponents are producing an ultimate X-ultimate, we'll produce an ultimate X-ultimate X-ultimate triple flow chemical reaction. Actually, if our opponents are producing an ultimate reaction, we'll have to do a full ultimate reaction.
Man, he's talking, shut up! Got me darn, you're breaking my glass. But, okay. Alright, WWW. I'm assuming that's the end of the chapter? Yeah, that's the end of the chapter. Alright. Interesting. But we see everyone's locked in. Once again, I'm interested to see if Rin starts cooking. He's the guy. Well, to be fair, he has his big disrespectful moment from a couple chapters back. But like after that, he's low key been on a calm simmer. He's been cooking a little bit. But I'm interested to see because Shido obviously has Kunigami on lock right now, or backwards. Kunigami has Shido on lock. Hiori's very clearly trying to get Charles on lock. You can already see the metavision / flow state popping up in his eyes. But Isagi, he's low-key kind of running loose. So I'm hoping Rin pops in and is like, hey, Bucko, just because we have so many other characters to talk about, don't forget me. So, like, I'm interested. But, of course, even with me getting on Isagi's, I'm actually behind. Do you know the chapters, right? These still peak. Like, obviously, you can tell by my reactions, my enjoyment. This was a really, really good chapter. I get it. I get the hype. I get the hype behind this chapter. Once again, not necessarily too much happens in this chapter on, like, a play progression level. Like, I don't even, actually, do we even know who has the ball? Like, I think they straight up knocked it out. Like, Kunigami straight kicked the ball out. So we kind of, like, reset play, essentially. But that aside, there's a lot of good character work in this chapter. And once again, I love Blue Lock for its big, bombastic, next-level action moments. But my favorite thing about Blue Lock, and then, of course, I'm biased, because my favorite thing about, like, narratives in general, I love character interaction. I love character writing. I love character development. I love character. That's how you make me lean out with a little mom's. So this, oh yeah, that's some good stuff right there. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, delicious. I love it. Fantastic character writing chapter, a worthy chapter, but big bodacious booty butt cheeks. If you somehow made it to the end of this chapter, leave ultimate. No, nah. I don't think you can put like an exponent. I don't think you put an exponent in the comment section. Leave bodacious. Why not? Leave bodacious in the comment section down below. And thank you so much for watching. Remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on every video that comes to the channel. Also, I do happen to have a Patreon below where you can support me for as low as $1 a month to get things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Some of those perks will include live reactions to every other series I review, ad-free variations of all my videos, and if you become a $25 patron or a $25 member, you can order whatever video you want. Now, I do thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our $3 members: O'Connor Plays, Greyhound, Atkins Void, Astro, Red Wolf 4765, Eternal Flame, and Teen Mitgow. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $5 patrons, Steron, Sean, Panda Goat, Midnight Lord 21, Metal Solid Crisis, Kevin, Ignil, and EHAC1. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $7 member, Autumn Mornings Lazo. And I'd like to give a big thank you to our $10 member, Jay Warrior. And I'd like to give another thank you to our $10 patrons, Joaquin and Idemokami. Along with another juicy thank you to our $25 patron, ChinaDoll09. And I'd like to give a final Giga Gargantuan thank you to our $25 patron, Calvin Elder.